Hey everyone, welcome! I'm starting this channel because I've always been fascinated by ancient Chinese philosophy, especially metaphysics. It's wild how many of these ancient ideas feel so much clearer when you look at them through the lens of modern physics. My plan is to share some of my personal reflections and insights with you, and I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. To kick things off, we're diving into one of the most foundational texts in Chinese philosophy, the Tao Te Ching. The Tao Te Ching is a surprisingly small book, only about 5,000 Chinese characters. But don't let its size fool you. For over 2,000 years, it's had a massive impact on Chinese philosophy, politics, religion, and culture. At its core is the concept of the Tao, or the Way. Think of it as an idea that goes beyond specific concepts or forms. It's the origin and the fundamental operating principle of everything in the universe. This timeless and universal nature is what makes its insights so powerful. It's a guide to understanding the universal laws of nature, society, and our own lives. The text is divided into two parts, the Tao Jing, the Book of the Way, and the De Jing, the Book of Virtue, with 81 chapters in total. It covers a ton of ground, from philosophy and ethics to politics and how the cosmos works. Its central philosophy revolves around the Tao and the De, promoting ideas like non-action and living in harmony with nature. The language might seem simple, but the meanings are incredibly profound. In this episode, we're going to dig into the story behind the Tao Te Ching. We'll explore the era it came from, figure out who Laozi was, and see how this little book made its way to us. According to tradition, the Tao Te Ching was written by a philosopher named Laozi during the late spring and autumn period, somewhere between 509 and 502 BCE. Laozi's life is shrouded in a lot of mystery. The most well-known historical record comes from Sima Qian's Records of the Grand Historian, which describes him as a wise scholar named Li Er. He served as the keeper of archives in the royal court of the Zhou dynasty, which basically means he was the head librarian, surrounded by ancient wisdom. There is even a story in this text about the great Confucius seeking out Laozi for advice. While historians debate if this meeting actually happened, it definitely highlights Laozi's reputation as a prominent thinker of his time. Legend has it that Laozi, growing disillusioned with the decline of the Zhou dynasty, decided to leave society. As he was heading west, a guide at the Hangu Pass named Yingxi recognized him as a great sage and pleaded with him to write down his teachings before he left. Laozi agreed, writing roughly 5,000 characters, the text we now know as the Tao Te Ching. Afterward, he rode off on his ox and was never seen again. This story is a big part of his legendary status. So when was the Tao Te Ching actually written? The answer isn't as simple as you might think. For a long time, the traditional view was that it came from the late spring and autumn period. But in the early 20th century, some scholars like Gu Jiegang and Feng Youlan suggested it might have been a later text, written during the Warring States period and just attributed to the legendary Laozi. However, recent archaeological discoveries have turned the debate on its head. In 1973, archaeologists found two complete silk manuscripts of the text in a tube at Mawangdui. These date to 168 BCE and are the oldest complete versions we have. Interestingly, in these manuscripts, the De Jing comes before the Tao Jing, the opposite of how we read it today. In 1993, the Guodian true slips were unearthed from a tube in Hubei province. Dating back to around 300 BCE, they contain the earliest known version of the Tao Te Ching. The chapters are a bit different and the language is simpler, showing that the text was still a work in progress. These discoveries prove that the Tao Te Ching wasn't a one-and-done book written by a single author. Instead, it's a living text that evolved over centuries, with its final form solidifying sometime during the Han Dynasty. The Tao Te Ching didn't just appear out of nowhere. It's a direct response to the wild and chaotic world it came from, the Spring and Autumn and Warring States period. The traditional Zhou dynasty order was falling apart at that time. The old rules and rituals were gone, and constant warfare between rival states created a time of intense instability. People were desperately looking for a new moral and social compass. New tech like iron tools and ox plows surcharged farming, creating a new class of landowners and upending the old social order. This shift caused a lot of tension and uncertainty. All this change sparked a period of incredible intellectual energy. Different philosophies exploded onto the scene, each offering a solution to the chaos. Confucianism focused on social order and ethics. Maoism promoted universal love. And legalism pushed for strict laws and power. The Tao Te Ching emerged as a powerful counterpoint to these ideas. It advocated for following the natural way and governance through non-action, offering a quiet, introspective path for people navigating a noisy, turbulent world. It was a call to step back from the power struggles and instead find peace by aligning with the gentle, irresistible flow of the universe. And that's a wrap for today. I hope this overview has given you a deeper appreciation for the fascinating history behind the Tao Te Ching. It's truly a product of its time, but its wisdom is timeless. In our next episode, we're going to dive right in and start our journey through the text itself. We will begin with the very first chapter and unpack how a few seemingly simple lines can contain some of the universe's most profound secrets. Don't forget to let me know in the comments what you are most excited to explore. See you next time!